Welcome to In This Season podcast, where we unpack the most empowering conversations, have exclusive and inspirational interviews, and host special events. Join Tammy, some call her Butterfly, and explore life's purpose by learning how to embrace each season of your life with confidence, strength, and purpose. Whether you're blooming in the spring, or shining in the summer, or embracing change in the fall, or gracefully hibernating in the winter, get ready to be inspired. Join us right here on this season of In This Season podcast with your host, The Butterfly. It's time, no matter what season it is.
Good morning, beautiful people. How is it going on this happy Monday? How about I'll say it like that? So happy Monday to you. You're joining us for Daily Motivations for African American Success. Well, we've been journaling through the book written by Kimbro. Again, Daily Motivations for African American Success. He is also the author of Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. And also, although this is written for us, is not just for us, right? Because one thing that we've learned, if you've been here just one time, that the way to reverse all that has happened in our lives, in the lives of others and this world, it is character. So we are building character as we come here every day and we leave contemplating on what we've learned, eating it, digesting it, and living it. So let's see who's in with us. Monique got the family in first. Happy Monday, Monique, and thank you for joining us. We're going to do what we do. We got to groove it on in so that we can find out. Are we going to do life today, or is life going to do us? Pimping wearing you, or you in the pimping, right? So get your groove on, shake it off, get ready for this week and this day. Daily Motivations for African American Success. Who else do we have? Big Mike says, good morning, everyone. Miss Brenda says, great everything, everyone, and happy Monday to all. So y'all shake it off. We're going to get on in here and eat this food so that we can go do life. All right? Get your groove on. Feed them ducks this morning. Get it, y'all. Come on, y'all. I see y'all. All right, let's do it. We are doing day 263. I'm going to go ahead and get my band. Brandon is celebrating with the wifey and the kids. Speaking of that, let me talk a little bit about that. Let me get some music shows. So, y'all know we have a little jewel here out in Millington. So we went out yesterday to Shelby Forest, and the last time I recall being there was my senior year. We had our senior day picnic or something like that at Shelby Forest. Y'all, it is absolutely refreshing. I felt like I was at Gatlinburg, the smaller Gatlinburg kind of thing. Very peaceful, serene. Driving to the cabin was like, oh my goodness, why don't I come out here more? Why don't I go and spend a few nights in one of the cabins? It was absolutely delightful. So y'all support. Even going into the general store was closed. At least it was closed by the time I was leaving because I don't remember knowing that they had one before. But just driving up to get to the cabin felt like the more I drove, the more I left behind. The scenery, the trees, the winding roads. There was just something about it. There's lakes. Brandon did some hot dogs and we had other things that we came out, had a fire pit going. Sitting around it, got a video of Zolly and grandfather singing. It was just beautiful. We just had a really, really good time. So y'all go check Shelby Forest out, support it. the visitor center is what I had started to talk about. Went in there and it was just the most peaceful place. It was just like, I told the lady, I was like, wow, this place seems so peaceful as a place to work. So go visit Shelby Forest if you have not as of late. Go out there and just spend a night or two. Auntie Richetta says, good morning, Butterfly and nephew and everyone. So y'all, we're going to get going here today. Brandon read this yesterday, but I'm going to do it again. We're on day 263. Growing a tail is our topic. I'm going to go ahead and put our quote out as well, just so that it will save me a little bit of time here. So, growing a tail, our quote says, responsibility develops some individuals and ruins others. So, responsibility develops some of us, but it does ruin others. And that's from Robert Woodson, founder of the National Center for Neighborhood Enterprise. That's an interesting one. The passage goes, it's very important for us to learn to ask for help and be willing to receive it. But it is even more important that we learn how to help ourselves. I'm going to read that one again. It is very important for us to learn to ask for help, but be willing to receive it. But it is even more important that we learn how to help ourselves. We are a constant companion, and we know better than anyone else what is good for us and what we want and need. The phrase, God helps those who help themselves, is a sound and practical philosophy. But I also love the lighter approach taken by the African proverb, God will not drive flies away from a tailless cow. We all know tailless cows, people who always look outside of themselves for solutions and are adept at never taking responsibility for their own lives. During the trauma of a divorce, a friend regressed to a helpless state in which, at first, of necessity and then out of habit, he hung on to his friends for support while limiting his situation. We were willing to be there for him for a while, but finally, his tailless state caused another friend to confront him about his lack of self-help. Although the confrontation was painful, it opened his eyes and he began accepting responsibility for his part in the divorce and finding ways to take change of his life. My friend grew a tail. Being able to rely on yourself is the major responsibility of adult life. Being able to rely on yourself is the major responsibility. I like this when I read it again, of adult life. As we learn to trust and support ourselves consistently, our tails lengthen and the flies that have been persistently pestering us disappears. Our affirmation for today: I am willing and able to help myself. I take responsibility for my actions and reactions. I'll read it again. I am willing and able to help myself. I take responsibility for my actions and my reactions. All right, y'all, what a good one. Patrick Sargent says, hello, Mr. Patrick. How's it going? Let me sip on my coffee as we learn to grow tails today, right? Y'all, this is a good one. This is a good one, certainly one that we will go back. We should go back, as the book says, and grow a tail today. Just realize I did not read. I did a little spiel, but I did not read us in. Let me do that. So, daily motivations for African American success will help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, deeds that will lead you to the achievement of your true goals. In 365 short but powerful motivations, one for each day of the year, Dennis Kimbro, who is also the author of the popular Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, leads us to discover how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, cultivate a positive attitude, become wise enough to know when to say yes, but also when to say no, and when to look inward for answers to life's challenges. Each motivation begins with words of wisdom from such distinguished and celebrated African Americans, such as Malcolm X, Marion White Elderman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Gout, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowland, and hundreds of others. This treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year, but what it teaches us, you guys, should last a lifetime. Black Enterprise says that each affirmation in this valuable and thought provoking book takes only a few minutes to read, but it is worthy of more time for contemplation. Wanted to make sure I read that or read that this morning because you guys, the part that I'm going to start with is then out of habit. Then out of habit. Oftentimes we don't realize, or people don't realize, that we're living our lives out of habit. We've gotten stuck. We're on autopilot mode, right? This guy went through a divorce, but he would complain about his wife or the situation. Never really, my opinion, bringing himself into the story and saying, what was my part in this? What was I responsible for that perhaps maybe I did how and I didn't show up for it, right? Sow a thought, reap an action. It all starts here. And as the book tells us that every deed, everything you think, every deed, right? Right? It makes its and it puts a mark on our inner being, right? It puts a mark. And that's why, to me, when it says grow a tail, it's saying do something, live intentionally, right? Don't react, learn how to respond. And sometimes, y'all, that's hard. That's hard. I mentioned last week that I went back and I apologized to someone who caught the tail end of someone else's mess that I reacted to. And the reaction just kept on going, right? But I had to rethink the situation. I had to roll back the camera, right? And play it so that I could see myself in it, right? See myself in a situation that I felt wrong, like I had been wronged, right? And I still do. But it wasn't the person's fault that I took it out on, right? So I had to grow a tail. I had to apologize. I didn't have to, but I did. I felt like I should, mainly because of where I have grown a tail. I'm responsible for that tail. The book says that as we learn to trust and support ourselves consistently, which is another word, consistently, we must learn to be consistent in making sure that our thoughts, our actions, right, even our feelings, what we do when they're all on one accord, right? Because did it feel awkward to try to go back and relook at the film and see myself in the situation and where I messed up and said, hey, listen, I'm sorry that I got out of character and that you saw it and you had to deal with it. And they said, it's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay because I'm no longer that person. I'm taking responsibility for who I am, for my reactions just as much as my responses. So sow a thought, you reap an action. Sow an action, you reap habit. Habit becomes character. What do we say is going to change who we are, right? And in this race thing that we talk about so often, It's not just us that need to change. It's not just them who needs to change. We all need to change and grow in character. So your thoughts turn into actions. What you do turns into a habit or habits. And your habits is your character, right? And your character is taking you somewhere, which is your destiny, right? So where are you going? Another part that I like, it says, finally, one friend decided to speak up and say, hey, we can't keep holding your tail for you. They didn't say, oh no, man, or she did you wrong and you should feel this way and you should feel that way. Somebody said, hey, you had a part in this. You had a part in the divorce, your divorce, right? And when it was brought up, only then, only then. And I feel like we talked about this a few days ago when, in a way, where I mentioned, what if we told people, hey, you hurt me? I think it was, you can dish it, but you can't take it. I think it was that one. Meaning, how do we respond to people who have hurt us, or they say hurtful things to us? You take control of your life. You determine what you need. We are our constant companion, and we know better than anyone else, regardless if you try to act like you don't, and you're always putting it on someone else. It was, well, this happened because this happened. I didn't do this because of this, right? My marriage did not work because she or he did not do this. They did this. They made me. I asked someone a question the other day. They were sharing a story of a time where the husband left for 2 months. Just said, I'm not dealing with this. It was in their first year of marriage. And the husband left, moved back to his hometown, and was there for 2 months. And not only did he leave, it was during a time where they were scheduled to go out of the States. They were scheduled for Jamaica, I believe. And he said, no, I'm not going. I wish you well. Go by yourself. I'm not dealing with this. And he left. And so I asked, well, what did you do? What did you do to make him to leave like that, to just up and go and not take a vacation? She said, well, she called his name. Well, I'll say Bobby, just not to put the business out there. Well, Bobby, and I said, no, I asked, what did you do? So this should not start with his name or what he did. I want to hear what you did. And she laughed. She's like, well, Miss Tammy. And so she started to tell me, basically, she was trying to wear the pants, right? She was trying to tell him what he was going to do, how he was going to do it. And so she owned up to that. She said, but I wasn't trying to. But you did. So how do we not try to do what we do? Right? Think about that. I wasn't trying to, but you did. Right? But you did. I hear that a lot. Well, I didn't mean to. What did you mean to do? Can you tell me that? And after that, can you say, hey, look, I'm sorry. What does the word tell us? What we ought to, those things we don't want to do, we do. What we want to do, we don't. And that's why you have to be intentional. You have to grow a tail. You have to be consistent in being intentional. You have to own. Can I say this? You got to own your shit, right? Before you try to say someone else is stinky, they didn't wipe their butt. Did you wipe yours, right? Does yours stink? Because y'all know we'll go to the bathroom and be like, thank God stuff don't stink. Walk by somebody else's doing their thing and it's, oh my gosh, right? But truth be told, like we say here, it's all about you, right? And let's not live out of habit of complaining, of making it about someone else. It's always them, right? They need to grow a tail while your tail is clipped off. Don't even have one to grow one. Because truth be told, y'all, that's in most cases, if you're not growing in character, if you're not being consistent in unlearning the things that have gotten you here, because life has happened to us all. And believe it or not, y'all, we hold on to it. We hold on to it, right? And those flies, as the passage mentions here, right? They disappear. The flies that have been persistently pestering us disappear. What's been pestering you? What keeps you from growing and moving and being set free? Set free, because that's a whole nother topic and day right there. So many of us is caught up still as adults in what has happened, meaning in the past, to us, how it made us feel, what it made us think about others, right? And our life. And we hold on to it so much so that we can't live in the present moment. We can't live in the future for the future. We can't live in the present for the future because you're living in the present for the past. You're in the past. What somebody did has control over you. How somebody made you feel has control over you. What somebody did in their own life, right, has control over you. The way you think about some things possibly comes from the way somebody else did some things in their life. You grew a whole perception of it, right? So, y'all, it starts with you. You are your constant companion. You should know right from the passage here today. You should know what you want and what you need. If you've been listening to this show, you know those are my two questions in the Bluff City Leadership Consulting that we do. Everybody, what do you need, right? And how do you need it? We're not talking about wants, right? Not right now. But you should know. You should know. But when your needs or when your wants become your needs, I told someone, this same young lady actually that I was having this conversation with, I said, I no longer want what I don't need. And what I'm finding out is I don't need much. And I don't want some of the things that I got that I wanted in the past. I want to get rid of them so that I can only have what I truly need and what I'm using. Most of the things that I bought was bought out of, oh gosh, this addiction kind of phase, right? I've mentioned here that the more I grow forward and into my own consistency, learning what is it that I need, the little hiccups and the little habits, like the little ice thing that I used to have, the little sickness, like those things just started to fall away, go away. To go away. My cousin Monique is on here, and I know Auntie Richella is on here. I remember you had that ice thing too, and I can't say that it's all for everybody, but y'all know I was addicted. I would have to have a cup of ice by the bed to go to sleep, whether I ate the ice or not. It was a comfort, like it's like a little baby that had a little blanket, right, or a little teddy bear. The longer I held on to the cut off tail, tried to hold on to a tail that was cut off. Because imagine trying to hold on to the little tail that you could barely, take a hold on, barely fit around your hand. You always feel like you're falling or trying to hold on if you've fallen over a cliff. Interesting. I used to describe my life that I feel like I allowed people to push me, push me some more, push me some more until I fell over the cliff. But I didn't go down. I always held on, right? Long enough for them to keep coming back and pull me up. I didn't mean to do that, Tammy, right? And they do it again. I'd let them do it again, push me to the cliff. I go over, I catch it. They come back and they grab me again. I didn't mean to do that, Tammy. And we start this cycle all over again, right? So the little things, now the things that I used to not like, down to the food and the things I like to do, I wouldn't want to travel. I've gone to places, gone into a hotel, nice hotels, and I've needed to come back home because I just thought, I cannot sleep here. I have to be home in my bed. I have to be where my bathroom is, right? Sickness. I would drive 14, 15 hours because I was afraid to fly, right? Tired, got to drive back. The fear is gone, y'all. The fear is gone. The living in the past is gone. But I didn't wake up overnight and just get there. I had to travel the journey of change. I had to travel the journey of taking those thoughts captive, right? Allowing them to be encouraging to me to take different actions. So a thought, right? We reap that action. What do your actions turn into, right? Those habits. And habits become who we are. And some of us in this, like this passage says, then out of habit, right? During the trauma of a divorce, a friend requested to a helpless state in which at first of necessity, he or she needed the help. We need the help and people should be there. Divorce or anything else that we're going through can be difficult, right? So we, at a point, we need someone. But then out of habit, he hung on to his friends for support while limiting his situation, right? What situation are you holding on to, right? What situations do you keep on going back to your friends talking about? Never taking ownership of your space in that situation. So you just keep on talking about it, not letting it go, right? You got it in the palm of your hand, gripped. I was wronged. But don't you realize that it's your tail that's being clipped? It's your tail that the flies are swarming around. The person that divorced you or you divorced is probably gone, recreating their thoughts and their actions and their habits, creating a new character. Perhaps they said, you know what? It wasn't all her. It wasn't all him. It was me too. Even in the things that we've allowed to hinder us, to keep us bound. And sometimes, y'all, you got to find your spot in that. So like Brandon said before, he's learned in his marriage, before he starts to complain about anything that his wife may or may not have done, let me check my checklist, right? Because they do have a little system. They do have a little system. Did you take out the trash? Did you mow the lawn? And it doesn't mean they don't come in and help each other. Doesn't mean that she doesn't grab that bag sometimes and takes it out as well. Because that's what marriage is about. But if you're going to complain about what someone else has not done, then you better make sure that you've been responsible. Responsibility develops some individuals. This is our quote, if you came in late, and it ruins others, right? So when you go to somebody and you say, grow a tail, get up, do something, stop whining, You were just as wrong as anybody else. Find where you were wrong and grow from there, right? Responsibility develops us if we let it. And taking responsibility of your life, who you are, where you're going, even where you came from. Because until you take the responsibility, you will not develop. You will not develop and grow. It's like what they say, forgiveness is like drinking the poison and expecting someone else to die from it, right? How can we make that about responsibility? Maybe somebody else taking responsibility of you and for you, or not doing it and expecting to grow, right? Someone else takes the responsibility or all the blame for all situations, but you grow, right? Not putting the seed in the soil and expecting something to grow out of it. Like putting the dirt in the pot or all of that. Watering it, but you never put a seed in there. Imagine forgetting to put the seed in the soil, in the pot. But you sit it in the right sun, you go back and water it, you go back expecting something to pop up and grow. But there's nothing in there. There's nothing in there. So, y'all, let's grow some tails today. Let's take responsibility of our developing, right? Let's take responsibility for who we are and who we are in situations, especially in our relationships, as this one talks about a marriage, especially. That is one of the biggest problems is everybody wants to be right and wants the other person to be wrong, right? But if making the other person wrong, if you divorce, you both lose. And I think I heard Brother Trent say this, like if divorce happens, no matter who is right or wrong, right? It hits you both. And if you have children, my God, it's an everlasting effect, as is everything that we don't take responsibility for. So stop hiding behind your cut off tail. Stop doing it. Grow a tail. Take every thought captive, right? Sow the right habits. Stop. Stop being cowards and live your best life. Stop blaming people and live your best life. So I'm going to check our comments, make sure we got everybody in. And y'all, we're going to get on off of here. I think the butterfly is going to go back and get some rest today. My dad, for y'all new people who is in, my dad is here. He is upstairs sleeping. My cousin Bowleg is here. He is in another room sleeping. And I was sharing with my family on our family page that I feel like a little schoolgirl. Valued, protected, loved. You know, my peeps are here. The men in my life are here. And y'all know I can't say enough. I just think, men, you are, wow, powerful. You don't know how powerful you are in the lives of the women in your life, right? Your sister, your wife, your nieces, and the men too. The men too, for sure. The young boys, for sure. But there's something about a girl having a woman, right? I'm 56 years old, and just having my dad around still makes me feel protected, loved, valued, right? It does. It does. Guess what, though? I'll say this and we'll get off of here. I'll read the comments and we'll get off of here. I had to ask my dad for what I needed. Oh, I just got that. He's here, right? He was here last year because I asked for what I needed, right? My dad took 2 weeks off without pay. He came here because I asked. I knew what I needed, even at, was I 56 then? 55, I guess, when he came the last time. But I needed my dad, just the presence, right? Ladies, don't be afraid to ask. I went a lifetime not having because I was in my pride, not asking. Because I do believe once you ask and people don't give you what you need and it's in their they can make it possible, then the game changes, right? The game changes. That's why when I'm coaching couples and I'll say, hey, don't hold back. If y'all are going through something and you want to say I love you and I'm sorry, or if you want to call as many times as you want and need to. But what if they don't answer? That's what if they do? What if they do answer? And what if that conversation brings y'all closer, brings about some understanding? But also, if you keep calling and they don't answer ever, they stop answering one day, you're not going to need to call anymore. And guess what? You can walk away because you gave 100. And I've come to live by this in my relationships. I'm going to give you, whether you give it to me or not, I'm going to give you 100 plus. And this is why. Because if we come to the end of the road, bro, I ain't got nothing for you. This is where we split. Ain't no coming back. I don't care what you did, how you changed, where you went, unless God himself come down and I hear it and I know it. Only way. Other than that, you got to go that way. I'm going this way because I gave you everything I had and some more. And it was not enough. I'm not the one for you. So if you've changed, let me see another sister blessed by you. Let me see, because I gave it all to you. All. I have no more. My cup is empty. It does not runneth over with you anymore. And so I remember one lady in particular coming back and said, Miss Tammy, I see what you meant now, because she fought me tooth and nails on that. I'm not going to call him. So we just going to keep going back through this. I want to talk to him. I want to talk to him. I want to talk to him. And he wouldn't answer. In my opinion, he was wrong. She was wrong too in some ways, but he wore the buck of the wrong in that situation. But still, I said, call him. Call him if you want to talk to him. He didn't answer. And so finally, one day, she got over him. But in that situation, I can say I don't think that she was all 100. She didn't show up 100. Because most cases, we approach things in situations, especially love, with the sense of we're not vulnerable. Because it takes a lot to give someone your all who's not giving you even a little bit back. Right? And you ought to be giving yourself your all. Grow your tail. Feed them ducks. Don't let pimping wear you. You wear the pimping. As that little boy used to bounce in when I was working a second job, right? To make ends meet. But he would come in and he would wake the night up. Miss Tam, he would come in, pimping wearing you or you wearing the pimping. And finally, I looked forward to it. And here I am all these years later. Brandon was in high school, middle school, high school, I don't know. But here I am using that phrase in my life. I'm wearing the pimping. Pimping ain't wearing me. Whatever the pimping is in my life, what is it in your life? I'm feeding the ducks. Ducks ain't feeding me. I'm buying the food, feeding the ducks. I'm doing life. Life ain't doing me. Things happen. Why should I think they wouldn't happen to me and I need to grow a tail? Why should I think I'm never wrong in situations and things in life? Who would I have been to come here every day and not go back and apologize to the person that I took my stuff out on, so undeserving of it? Who would I be to come here every day and talk about change and taking responsibility and then not say I'm sorry? Who would I be not to ask my dad to explain what I needed? And I started and learned to do that, y'all, from taking a class at the Healing Center. If you're here, I don't know if they still do this class, but I still have my book, Healing for Damaged Emotions. I was going to see if I could pull it out. Healing for Damaged Emotions, right? healing for damaged emotions. And after taking that class, the following year, on my birthday, I called my dad and I said, "Today's my birthday. And I just want to hear you say happy birthday." And not throwing shade on my dad. My dad's a great man, great dad. He just didn't know what I needed. He thought I was fine. She'll call me if she needs me. Because if maybe you missed this one, but one day he told me, he said, "May not be the dad just calls you every day and da 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 da, but if you need me, I'm there." And in a sense, y'all, that's all I needed to know and hear. Where some other chick may not even, some other woman may not even need that. I did. And I knew that I needed it because it says here, we are a constant companion and we know better than anyone else what is good for us and what we want and need. I'm going to leave that one out. Well, I could say I wanted more time with my dad. I could say that. And not that I just wanted, I needed it. I needed it. And so I asked for it. This one's talking about divorce. Some of you guys are married and there's a need that you have, but you'd rather not speak on it. And perhaps even divorce, rather than saying, "You know what? I need this from you. This is how you make me feel." And as I've said, if you give a person a little bit of what they need, in most cases, it will be all that they need from you, right? So y'all grow those tails today. Let me back it up here and read some of these comments. Patrick Sargent, he says, "Blessed." Big Al Sal, Evan Williams Jr. says, "Good morning. You've been missing in action, sir." Patrick says, "Shopping addictions." Oh my gosh, that was me. I'm telling y'all, it was a comfort. It was a comfort. I got, oh man, Patrick, don't talk about that. Let me go. Let me let go of that one. But it was an addiction covering something, right? Kept me bound. So he says, "I have different desires, different priorities." I think he's trying to say outgrowing, renewal of the mind, be about your business. All from Patrick. Ask, seek, knock. Amen, amen. And then Lost the King. Thank you for joining us over here, or on YouTube. I think you're listening from as well. So you guys, thank you for joining me. I don't think Brandon will be back tomorrow. They're going to be out there again celebrating daughter-in-law's birthday. It was a beautiful time. And take the time, y'all, to spend time with the people that you love. Take the time. Oh gosh, yesterday was a hard day to try to make it out there. There was a lot going on. I had to, like I said, my dad's here. I had to cook. I had to do some things for work and get there. Then I got there and realized I forgot the plates. So I had to go back out of Shelby Forest to the store. Thank God for his voice, because I was on my way out, like back up into town to go to a Family Dollar, Dollar Store, Walmart, something, first thing I could find. And something just said, gas stations have paper plates. And I was like, "Whoa." And then I Googled, and there was one just outside of the camping grounds, right? Thank God, thank God. And I got the plates, and we just had a joyous time, especially the kids, So we just had a joyous time. Come on with it, Patrick. I see that you said I have a prayer request. We can talk about that offline if you want. Cause I have a war room, y'all. I have a war room. Y'all, oh my gosh, I had this young 23-year-old young baby ask me, "Can I come over? Can I come over?" Oh, you're just gonna make me cry. "Can I come over and get in your war room?" Ooh, I said, "Baby, you can come. You can come stay in the war room. All thing you got to do is take them shoes off, go in, and I'll bring you food and water." But she asked, "Miss Tammy, can I come over and come in your war room?" Right? So thank God, because it tells me She's listening. She wants more. And it's hard being 23, y'all. Gosh, it's hard. And she has a hard life. Hard life. So, Patrick, a better job, y'all. Let's Patrick, where are you living? I don't let me ask that. Where are you living? Right? So I'm hiring. Need some people. So inbox me. But I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all gonna keep me here all morning. I'm gonna get out of here. This has been awesome. I'm gonna grow my tail. My tail's gonna be so long. Y'all gonna be like, Miss Tammy, what is going on? And I'm gonna be like, Miss Tammy wearing the pimping. Miss Tammy feeding the ducks. Cause like I told y'all, right? I won't mind. Y'all say what God has for y'all. Y'all, we say that God has me, it's for me. What God has for y'all, some of y'all won't even get and take. Because you ain't got no tail. You won't take responsibility. You want him to give it to you, put you in it, open the door, carry you over the threshold, sit you down, put your fingers on the computer or whatever. Right? So, Patrick, we're going to be praying for you a better job. And y'all, let's be in agreement. I like that you've asked that. Y'all, we need to do that. You got a prayer request? Let's get it out here. And let's all be diligent in praying for the things that we say we'll pray for and the people, right? And I love that Patrick's not so prideful that he can't ask, right? Because that's another thing. That's another whole thing. All right. So we're caught up, I think. Well, see, you said how. I think you said you can message me. My number is out on my page, but you can also message me. 901-431-3071 is my number. And if you forget that, it's on my page. So however you feel the need to, we'll make it happen. That's it, you guys. Let me go back. So our topic for today, growing a tail. The quote, responsibility develops some individuals, but it ruins some others, right? Our affirmation, I am willing and able to help myself. I take responsibility for my actions and my reactions, right? For my actions and my reactions. Let's make responding an action. Let's make responding an action, not reacting. Taking medication, we don't want the medicine. We don't want to have a reaction to the medicine. We want our body, if you take it. I'm not a medicine person. But if I was, I would want my body to respond to it, to accept it, heal, right? So let's do that today. I am willing and able, because you are willing. Well, you are able, but are you willing to help yourself? And are you willing to take responsibility for it all? For it all. So y'all, let's feed these ducks on out of here. Thank you. I will be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. Ooh, tomorrow's topic, the today. That one sounds interesting. So y'all come back, share the video, bring somebody to the barbecue with you. Take this food, go away. But as Black Enterprise says, that take more time to contemplate upon what you have fed your body and mind this morning. Digest it, live it, take responsibility for your actions and your reactions. To life, love, people, places, things, to all of it, right? Show up, grow a tail. Feed the ducks as we go on out. Y'all go be great.